Let's see if this switch works. Let's see if it'll just at least spin over. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, did y'all hear that? All right. Well, we got to spin over. That starter sounds a lot more healthier than the last one. I think that last one was on its outs. I'm going to put a charge on this battery. But we got the starter situation figured out. Now it's time to move on to the valve cover. All right, we're going to go ahead and yank this valve cover off. We got a new gasket for it. We'll clean it up, put a new gasket on it, maybe even paint it, I don't know. And get that portion done. I know this valve cover gasket was broke last time I had it off. Yeah, just coming out in pieces there. So let's get this on off and send it down there. Get all these pieces out and we'll clean up the top side of the head here. And I gotta go get a scraper, I think. Be back in a minute. All right, we got the valve cover back on. Shows a popping red on that dark colored engine. We had to get a little color on this, you know. We've been working on getting some new radiator hoses on. Got the new hoses on. We got us our little rubber cushion for the fuel tank. It sets down on top of this thermostat housing. Kind of runs over this and mounts to this plate. So we got that situated. I've been working on the alternator, trying to figure out a bracket or something that might work of all the scraps and stuff that I do have to try to keep it in line. It's fairly close. We're just making progress. So just stay tuned and keep watching. We're getting there slowly but surely. All right, there's about 20-plus-year-old diesel fuel still left in this tank. We're gonna drain it. Try to get the majority of it out. Drain it off in this pan and see if we can't flush the tank out and get it cleaned up so we can be ready to put it back on when time comes. Just part of the process. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take this tire off. Got the tractor jacked up. I'm gonna get this tire taken off where we can look at the brakes on this side. We did get them freed up. I didn't go into that on the last video, but we're gonna try to go back together with it. But we're gonna get this tire off so we can look at the brakes, and once we go put the tire back on, we'll put it back in the in position because it's bowed out right now. We're gonna flip the tire around where it'll be in the in position. So here we go. This is what your brake drum looks like. You got 2 flathead screws, and if the drum's been on there a while, you got threaded holes. We're going to bolt in and drive that drum off. So that's what we're going to do next. Here's the inside of the drum. See, there's some rust all around there we'll have to scrape out and clean up. Here's your backing plate for your brakes. And brake pads. We're gonna get all this cleaned up. We'll try to go back together with it. I'll try to get y'all in here where y'all can see what we're doing. Just hang in there. Alright, it's been a few days. We did get our brake shoes back on. So if anybody needs to see how this goes on, you got your keepers and pins. You got a little bar here. You got two big holes in your shoes that slides over these. You got two big springs. And you got your adjuster and spring over here. And I didn't go into detail whenever I got this, before I got this tractor running. I went ahead and popped this drum off and just went ahead and took the brake pads, brake shoes out, because that's what was locked up on this drum. You seen that drum, I just showed you how bad it was. We're going to clean that up before we go back together with it, but at least we'll have a functioning brake again on this left side. I'm going to scrape this out as best I can. Got to be perfect because it is a tractor. As long as it'll stop, that's all I'm worried about. So there we go. We're gonna put this drum back on. All right, you can test fit your drum on here, and as you can see, it kind of way too loose, so we're gonna have to adjust on this adjuster. Spread these out a little bit. Let me go see if I can't get some pliers. I'll be right back. bit of, I mean, it's grabbing, but it's gonna go just a hair more. Alright. We're going to need a little bit more. It's starting to scrape a little. Just a hair more. Not scrubbing, but it's that light we're going to put on the brake. And that stops it. Let off, put on. Okay. So if you need to know how to do your brakes on your 35 Massey, there you go. Make sure your hose is lined up. We got these flathead screws that's got to go back in, and we're going to put the tire back on. Alright, we got the drum back on. Ready to go with the brakes. We're going to get ready to put this tire back on. That tire is about 3/4 full of water, so it is just a tad bit heavy. I'm going to try to manhandle it, and I'll be back. Well, we got the tire back on. And some would say, hey, you got the tread on backwards, you know, compared to the other side. Well, if you want the V pattern flowing in the traditional way, all you got to do is take this tire, put it on that side, and take that tire and put it on this side, and then it'll be matched up. But right now, I really don't care. But y'all, drop down in the comments and let me know, what is the correct way for your tire tread to be? To me, this seems like this way would grab more in soft soil. But, you know, I may be wrong. Y'all let me know. Y'all drop it down in the comments. We're going to keep plugging along. Well, we got the fuel tank back on. I don't know if you can see or not with the lighting, but I do have a few leaks I'm going to have to chase down. Small hoses that I'll have to get. Got the alternator pretty much close to lined up. I just got to work on the bottom bracket, adjusting bracket. You can see more of that fuel leak over here. Return line, I didn't have the proper size rubber hose, so it's leaking out of that. Then I'll have to get a gasket for this bowl. It's wanting to leak out of that bowl. But we just plugging along on it. I'll probably have to pull this tank back off in the future, and all the brass washers that goes on your injectors and your return lines, I'd like to replace all them. I got one that's leaking right there. Still got to get our fuel filters. I ain't got them yet. Thought I did and I didn't. Still got to get our oil filter housing.
But we're just working on it when we can. But I'm probably just going to wrap up this video here. Past couple of days I've had a head cold, and y'all probably don't want to hear me talk too much because I sound all nasally and whatnot. But we're going to pick it up at a later date. And as always, I appreciate y'all watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, have a good one.